Hello, welcome to Focus. I'm your host, Mark Warnock, and today we're here with Francie Berger. Did I say that correctly?
Berger.
Berger. That's close. I try to make it fancy.
It's okay. It was. It was a good
The
try.
interim executive director of the Enfield Loaves and Fishes Soup Kitchen.
That's right.
So thanks for coming on the show. We had you guys on the show about a year ago now,
Okay.
but we figured we'd check back in with you guys, see how things are going and how things have changed since the beginning when we started the show. It was the beginning of the pandemic, so how things
Okay.
have progressed since then.
Okay.
So for the folks who might not have seen the last time your guys were on, tell us a little bit about Loaves and Fishes and what you're all about.
Sure. Well, I actually hadn't seen the last time we were on because I've only been here since December. So, what Enfield Loaves and Fish's mission is to serve a hot meal every day of the week to anybody who needs one. We don't ask for proof of residency. We don't ask for proof of need. We just want you to show up and enjoy the meal, and in normal times, enjoy the community. At this point in time, we're serving takeout, so there's really not much community, but we do talk to people as they come up to get their meals. But it's open to anybody. You do not have to be an Enfield resident, and you don't have to really be in need. You just have to want.
All right, and you guys are in a new location now. Last time we had you on, I talked to Priscilla, and you guys were just starting the transition to the new location. So tell people about what might be different or where you guys are located now as opposed to where you were before.
Sure. So one of the things that pushed the move actually was COVID. The board had been thinking about looking for a new location, and COVID really made that a more immediate need. The building we were in before at Prospect Street was really difficult to access for our guests when it became a takeout facility. It was sort of a road that was behind the building, and people had to line up and compete for space with the cars. It was sort of a dangerous situation. Our volunteers were sitting outside in the freezing cold, serving meals in the middle of winter. It was really pretty bad. So the board got together. They bought the old Sylvia's restaurant at 23 North Main Street, right here in Thompsonville, only 4 blocks from where we were. And again, because of COVID, we're still limited to takeout meals. But right now, we are the only soup kitchen in the state of Connecticut that has a drive up window. The building before it was Sylvia's was a bank, so the infrastructure actually existed for the drive up window. We just had to open up the wall again and replace the glass. So the sliding glass window. We also have a door that you can walk up to. Our volunteers are able to serve from inside. We're serving 2 meals at a time instead of just one serving location because we've got the walk up, we've got the drive through. So it's really exciting for us. We're really able to serve a lot of people a lot more easily at this location.
That's awesome. So tell us a little bit about how you yourself got involved with Loaves and Fishes.
Okay, kind of a funny story. So they were really looking for somebody that was going to come in and help them with the move. There was a lot to be done in the old building in terms of cleaning up old junk and sort of figuring out what we needed, what we didn't need. They also needed somebody to sort of look at the finances and straighten things out. This organization has grown a lot in the last 30 years. It was really time to take a look and make it, I don't want to say more professional because it's certainly a very professional organization, but maybe put some policies and procedures in place as we grew. I am normally a reference librarian and programming director at Hall Memorial Library in Ellington. And I knew one of the board members. She had mentioned that this position was going to be filled, and we weren't doing a lot of programming at the library because of COVID. So I jokingly said, "Hey, why don't you send me the job description?" And I took a look at it, and I actually had the skill set needed to fulfill the tasks that were described. So I interviewed with the board. They brought me in. I'm here on a 1 year contract. So I spent the first 6 months moving us into the building and still kind of taking care of the facilities along with the board members. And now I'm just trying to put those policies and procedures in place. I don't know if you know, but Priscilla, the longtime director, has retired. So we're going to be starting a search for a new executive director. So I'll be involved in that with the board as well. So there's a lot going on right now.
Yeah, it's happening
Big
place over
changes.
there at the Loaves and
A
Fishes.
lot of big changes.
Yeah. So tell us what about how you guys have, like you talked about, you have the drive-through and stuff like that. But how have you guys reached out to your usual clients and told them about your guys' changeover? Because everyone's used to going to Prospect Street. How difficult
Right.
was it to get everyone kind of like trained to come over to the new location?
Right. And again, luckily, we're only 4 blocks away. So just a lot of talking to the clients before the move. We started talking to people about a month out saying, on this date we expect to move. And then we put the signs up. We moved our gigantic Enfield Loaves and Fishes sign from the old location to the lawn over here. We changed the awnings over here. So there's a lot of good call outs. Right now, if you drive up to the corner of Route 5 and Main Street, we've got the town sign for the month. So there's a great big sign talking about Loaves and Fishes. So we're pretty easy to find.
That's great. So how has donations and stuff changed for you guys? Is it different than what you had in Prospect Street, or still everything basically the same as you have?
Well, I've not been involved in a nonprofit before, and I think my understanding is that just I could not believe the amount of money, food, everything, donations. The general public has been so incredibly generous. Local businesses have been generous. It's just really mind-boggling to see what people give, and everything helps. Anything from dropping $1 into a tip jar somewhere to sending us a $5,000 check. Every one of those donations is just as valuable as the next. But it's really, really heartwarming to see how much people give.
That's great. Great that people are helping out.
Absolutely.
Why don't you tell me a little bit about how this whole situation has affected your guys volunteering? You said you guys aren't doing the usual sit down dinners, but you're doing the takeout. How has
Right.
that changed, like how you guys deal with your volunteers and stuff like that?
Well, luckily, we still have a very strong volunteer base. My understanding is that we have lost some people to COVID, some longtime volunteers who, had health concerns, fairly had health concerns, were staying home, taking care of themselves. We're starting to see some of them come back. But what we were doing originally, so we are packing the meals to go, and you are allowed, I forgot to mention that you can take as many meals as you want. So if you're coming and you've got a family of 5, we are absolutely thrilled to give you 5 meals, 5 desserts, 5 snacks, whatever you need. If your neighbor can't get out and come and get the food for your neighbor. We've got it for you. So we have, again, a steady core of volunteers who have been here throughout. We've had some new people step up to volunteer. And we're starting to see some of the people that had to leave because of COVID come back. I'm getting calls every day from people saying, do you need me? I'm ready to come back now. So it's been great. And what volunteers are doing is, we have our usual chefs who volunteer and cook all day long. We have people helping to package the hot meals. We have them serving the hot meals from those 2 locations, the door and the drive-up window. We also have a roster of snacks and fruits and drinks. So we have other people handing that stuff out. We've got people, we get a lot of donations from the supermarkets and Costco. And so we'll get in a huge box of muffins. We have people that spend their morning packing the muffins into individual bags for our guests. So we've got plenty to do here.
So folks wanted, if people are at home and they're thinking, wait, I want to help out and volunteer, how do people do that? How do they get in touch with you guys?
They just give me a call at 860-741-0226, and I will be happy to let them know what our needs are, find out what their capabilities and what their desires are in terms of what they want to do, and we'll find something for them to do. What we are truly in need of right now is our weekends are usually covered by church groups and civic groups, and there are groups out there that have been doing this for 20 years, say a church group doing it every 3rd Sunday for 20 years in a row. And we've got most of those slots filled, but right now for the summer, we have a lot of Saturday gaps, so we're really in need of a few other groups to maybe step forward. And it doesn't have to be, an official community group. It can be somebody and a group of their friends coming in. We're going to make it super simple. One of the big changes we're having for the weekend folks is that those groups used to bring their own food in. We have the food for you. We're going to supply the food. If you're not able to cook, we're going to ask you to make sandwiches. We might ask you to heat something that's already been prepared for you. If you really want to cook, we'll give you all the ingredients for whatever it is you want to cook. So if we can get the word out that we're in need of groups for definitely this coming Saturday, as a matter of fact, and a couple of Saturdays in July and August, then that's really the biggest need right now in terms of volunteers.
Well, yeah, so we'll get the word out about that. And so last thing I always ask all our guests is during this whole situation we've been in for the past year, what is the one thing that you're most grateful for?
I'm most grateful for the opportunity to be here and to help the community, because that was not part of my normal, I was helping in my own way as a reference librarian, but this was never on my wish list. I never desired to go work in a soup kitchen, but I was given this opportunity and it's been an amazing experience.
That is great. It's fantastic. It's nice to meet you.
Thank you.
finally
You
in
too.
person, like, well, not in person, but somewhat in person.
Yeah, sorry
And
for the technical issues yesterday,
well,
but
hey,
we
it
made it
happens.
through,
You know,
didn't we?
things happen, but we make it work and we get
We
through.
did. We
But
did.
thanks so much for giving us some time to talk, and
Thank you.
we'll see you next
And
time. Here in
and please
Enfield.
come in and see us when we start serving indoors in September.
Yes,
All
definitely.
right, we'll do
Definitely
another
do that.
talk then.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mark.
Thanks again.
Take care.
See you
Bye.
next time here on Focus.
Bye.